check this out.
2008?
Uh-huh.
Well, how's the suspension on these? Because I know
I see you looking at the around the car.
Yeah.
So I know you're concerned about
well,
the air suspension.
the air suspension on these
Well, I have good news for you.
What's that?
The air suspension has nothing wrong with it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What, this is something you picked up for yourself?
Nope.
Oh, it's going to be one of your customers?
This is kind of good news. Now the bad news is it's for a customer. This is not the bad news. The customer found this car at the dealership.
Okay.
His wife, she saw the car and she liked it. So I told him this car, it's gonna need
A little TLC.
a little. It's kind of a lot. I will show you the interior in a second.
What's going
So-
on with the interior?
He told me just a few words. We got the car for him for a good price.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, pimp my ride for my wife.
Pimp
And
my ride for
I
my
know
wife.
what you're looking at. It's just a small hole in the seat.
I don't think that's a small hole. That looks like more than a small hole.
It takes a little stitching, that's all.
Maybe the previous owner had a fight with his wife or something, and she tried to torch him.
They had a good fight in the car.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to need to spot them here.
Take a look at drop the sun visor down, the second one.
What's going on there?
Um,
It's dropped already.
oh, it dropped already,
Yeah,
It's
I can
probably
see.
falling already.
There's a mirror missing. I can see that.
I didn't see this one. I was driving and I was like, let me put the sun visor down for some reason, and I found the wires hanging, no mirror. So this is not the biggest part. Now, the other thing, this car has 5.5 liter V8
I know
engine.
the engine. It's magnificent.
It's a good engine.
The first year, and I'll tell you right now, that thing is bulletproof.
Yep. And
How's it running?
kind of rough.
Kind of rough. I mean, like,
The engine's still healthy. It needs a lot of tune-up.
you need some tuning. Okay.
Some tuning, and I'll open the hood for you. But before I open the hood, I need an answer from you, because I don't want you to back up when you see what's under the hood.
Why? What's going on underneath?
This car has to be done in under 5 days.
Done in under 5 days, including what?
Everything.
What's everything?
Detailing, exterior,
Okay.
interior, some restoration,
Well, I'm going to say
Tune up.
something here.
all the fluid flush, tires, brakes, and he asked us for something. He wants to add some little bit of accent to the car. He wants to give the car some, kind of attitude.
Well,
So we're gonna bring the attitude up.
what about the braking?
I'm gonna leave it for you. You're gonna give me your opinion. We're gonna put some extra accent to the car. Our special marks and trades.
Wow.
It's like trademark, We usually use on the Mercedes orange colors, but I'm gonna leave it for you because I don't think the silver will take orange calipers. But this is one of the things. Now let me open the hood for you.
Yeah.
I'll show you what's going on.
You know,
Because
with me-
the cosmetic, I know we're good at it, and also mechanical. But 5 days, now you're gonna tell me what's going on in here.
Well, let's see what you're talking about.
I'm not gonna be surprised. I got surprised when I opened this hood at the dealership.
What's that?
We gotta change the coolant reservoir in the tank.
Oh,
There's
okay.
power steering fluid leak.
Okay.
So I believe this is common issue with Mercedes. It's the reservoir leaking.
Yeah, that's
It needs
generally
some oils.
an O-ring seal on the bottom.
Yep, that's the
Probably
one.
fail. Okay.
And we're gonna change all the coils, all spark plugs, mass airflow sensors, throttle body cleaning, all the fluid flush. Driving belts has to be replaced.
Well, I can tell you this, lifting the hood, you know me, it's got to match the rest of the car when it's really nicely detailed. And if the engine ain't right for me, nothing's right.
That's why I know I'm talking to the right person.
Well, here's one of the things that really gets me when I see this kind of activity. This is
It means this
obviously-
hood's been shot for a while.
Well, it's not only that, it's, these are drains. Water drains are very important on having clearance because otherwise you're gonna get buildup, you're gonna get a combination of mildew, you're not gonna get fresh air coming into the cabin, and that all,
That's right.
that all becomes a problem. So it's not just about being clean, it's also has important functions.
Take a look at the brakes. Also, the tires, they all look like pretty dry. So
Well, I can tell you this.
we have to restore the wheels for sure.
Well, even when you talk about detail, you want to make sure when you have an open vent wheel that you're going to see everything to the T.
I'm saying 5 days. He's not gonna let this car out.
I don't know if it's going to be
in 5 days, but guess what? I'm not gonna let him even out the shop if the car is not done in 5
Wait,
days.
are you telling me that you want me to be part of this whole adventure?
Oh yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, I got some other projects going on.
We have to pimp this right, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you this.
His wife, she wants to see the car
Is
completely
this some special
different.
occasion?
Kinda.
Kind of. What's the special occasion?
He wants to surprise his wife in 5 days.
Is it a
They're
birthday?
going on a trip. It's
Is
not a
it a
birthday.
birthday?
They're going on a trip, but she
Okay.
saw the car and she saw how miserable the car looks like. And we promised her, or I promised her, that which I added you in it, before asking you, that
Not
we're gonna do
asking.
it.
Great. Okay. Well, I think you know it's hard for me to say no. That's why you're saying that.
I know you're always on board.
I don't know if I'm always on board, but you know, something about you is telling me a man trying to impress his lady, then you know I'm a romantic too. You're trying to get my soft spots, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
All right, listen.
Don't forget, there's a lot of exterior detailing too. We have to add ceramic coating at the end. This is the
Well-
last touches.
Immediately as I'm talking to you, you know I'm always observing regardless. And I can tell you right now, the paint is actually very decent. It hasn't been loved, and I know you can do the magic on that.
That's it's gonna be a.
You gotta make me
It's gonna
one
be a tough
promise.
one.
You gotta make me one promise.
What is it?
When it's done. When it's done,
We're gonna go for a rip.
we're gonna go for a ride first.
Okay.
And
We're gonna-
then, and only then, well, I'll be happy.
All right, we'll do so. So.
All right, listen, let's
here's
stop
the plan.
talking. Let's stop talking. When are we gonna start?
I'm not gonna give you a hard time on it because I feel already the pressure on myself. So
Start tomorrow.
tomorrow is day one.
Okay.
So from tomorrow, we're gonna sit in the office, go over everything we're doing, collect all the parts, and of course, what we're gonna be using for flushing all the fluids.
Are you talking about just
Coolant.
me and you, or we're gonna get other team guys?
It's gonna be me and you. We kick ass on this car.
Okay.
But we have our friends Rove from Germany.
Well, let
Rove
me tell
Motor
you
Oil.
something. We
It's
are
a
not gonna put
Mercedes,
anything
and it's a
else.
German product, so we gotta use
That's
Rove
right.
Motor Oil coolant, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, and brake fluid, all from Germany.
We can't use anything else.
Absolutely. So
I
this
have
is gonna
used
be the
other
last-
product. I've used other product, you know, and it's very satisfactory. But since we've been using Row, I have to tell you, I'm very impressed by the
So,
results.
By the end of this build, this car should be powered by Rove.
All right.
We're all from tomorrow.
How are we gonna bless it?
Anyway, here's how it's gonna be blessed. My name is Nazir Bassad.
I'm Mike DeGenato.
So we're gonna be busting ass on this car for 5 days. We're gonna do our best to make it look like almost brand new. We can't promise to be brand new because nothing is brand new, nothing is perfect. To do the perfect, they have to go buy a brand new car. But we're gonna try to get it matching
As
the-
close as possible. And
Yes.
unfortunately, overtime is gonna be needed.
Oh yeah, but let me tell you something. It's gonna be a very interesting 5 days. It's gonna be some pressure and some delays on parts because we deal with that all the time. But we'll pull it off. Is that right, Mike?
We'll take action.
All right, we'll take care of it. So stay with us.
Okay, day one. What's the plan of attack?
We gotta first. The attack has to be. We have to figure out everything. We need to order all the parts. We need to know what we're doing with the brakes, tires, engine bay detailing. The seat, as you saw, has some damage, a hole in it, as we spoke yesterday. So we have to go over everything now.
Everything is important, but you know we always like to go right to the heart. We got to go
So
on the
let's
engine.
jump on the
component.
engine.
We already saw that the coolant reservoir was leaking from the spout. One of the things that really gets me is it's something that you need to address. You have a vehicle that has this caliber of power and that engine is bulletproof, but I don't care. Anytime you got a vehicle that's a risk of overheating, that little drip, 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 day by day adds up all of a sudden you overheat and then you're causing complications.
So that's the first thing. It has to be
Immediately.
replaced. The
Get
tank
that
replaced. The
reservoir.
power steering fluid leak that basically we all know it.
You
It's
mentioned
the O-ring from the reservoir. So
most common. So the best thing to do is you do have some wetness all along the front of the engine. Address what's obvious. Automatically, when we clean and detail the engine and we run this vehicle, if there's any other,
So what we do, we change the O-ring and we'll flush it with Rove power steering fluid. And now the as far as the engine, the operation, tune-up,
all that.
coils, spark plugs.
Another thing, preventive maintenance. I like to do. I don't care. Every 60,000 miles. You know, most people wait for a misfire in order to say, okay, well, I'm having a misfire. I'm probably having a failing coil. Let me address it. No.
Well, those has never been replaced before.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you have to change the whole set.
And,
Obviously, fresh plugs.
Plugs, I'm gonna get in NGK probably. NGK the best option. I know we're not gonna use the original spark plugs because the NGK they've been proven for years that they better on the market. But Bosch will go Bosch coil packs, so we'll do that.
I'm really old school, you know, as well as I do. I like to use original, whatever's recommended. But the reality of it is NGK has been proven in
Yeah,
performance,
for
high performance in racing, and they're just very reliable.
So we'll do that, and then throttle body cleaning. We have to clean throttle body, mass airflow sensor. The driving belts, the belt I saw dried out, so we need to
You
get
gotta
it
do all
done
the
too. So we gotta
maintenance,
go over
all
every.
all the preventive maintenance that's been neglected is gonna have to be done. You
And
gotta
we're
make
gonna
sure.
flush the coolant. We're gonna also put Rove coolant. Of course, the car has to get oil change using the factory filters, and I'm gonna hook up the car with K&N air filters. So I
Okay.
get a little bit of power, and it saves more gas,
Well, not only that,
better miles.
I know that you constantly have been using K&N, even in your drag racing, and
They're the best. They're the best. It's the easiest
Listen.
way to make some power.
The rule of thumb is anything that says performance, all of a sudden people spend money on, and they say, "Oh wow, it's performance. It's going to be a better running car. I'm going to." And sometimes money is spent unnecessarily.
Yep.
But K&N is another.
K&N is
product.
good, especially
It's
he's not
good.
gonna need to replace it ever again. It's just washable.
Right.
So it's just a little bit extra money, but he's not gonna spend it anymore. One
It's gonna-
time.
It's going to have a little different sound as well, and it's
Yep.
not significant,
You can
but
hear, yeah, you can hear
open
the
up
airflow.
more airflow.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So that's as far as engine bay, and as we go, we know where we need more. The PCV for sure. I'm getting PCV for that. The breather, the crankcase breather.
I was taught old school that, and this was something that Enzo Ferrari shared many times, that if that engine wasn't clean and detailed, he felt like it didn't do justice. Almost like the vehicle, that engine is not detailed clean. It's almost like, you know, it's a subconscious thing. It's really a mental thing. It has to match. So when you lift the hood, let's be honest, everybody wants to see what's under the hood. And when you see something that wows you, it's inevitable that
And the drains, we gotta clean the drains, as you said yesterday.
Well,
and fresh cabin air filter.
So as we know, people have allergies, and they're always complaining that they have a problem breathing. Well, another overlooked thing, we're going to be checking that cabin filter for sure. Based on what I see, I would bet $1 million that cabin filter is not being replaced. So what ends up happening is you get all kinds of debris, all kinds of sediment that builds up in there, and you're turning on your air conditioner, you're turning on your heater. What's happening? That airflow is going through the
Right.
cabin filter, and if it's you know, coming into the cabin and that blows in, even if it's minimal, you're going to breathe it, and that contamination is going to affect you.
Then this is one thing out the way too. Now the brakes, it's a silver color car, so, and it has big AMG wheels. It has
Look, these are
4-piston caliper in the
these are
front.
quadra
So
pistons.
what are we doing as accent here for the car?
Look, these are the AMG wheels. Anytime you have a wheel that's beautifully vented and you can see the caliper, it's exciting to see something different. And so, I don't know, I have to be honest with you. I know that the red is signature, and that's pretty common, but I think ever since that you did the upgrade with that orange, I think is pretty signature.
Keep our signature.
Well, the only thing that you're going to see in the front is you're going to see that reflector on the bumper, and so there's a little bit of a flow. And most of the time, let's be honest, I mean, you look at the nose, you look at the tail. I mean, that's the two areas of the car you're gonna see. And that left front corner, it's gonna flow.
So make it orange then, orange, and we add the
so.
Mercedes vinyl on the cover.
Exactly. Well, what's beautiful about the long quadrupiston caliper,
We have a room.
you actually can see the casting of where the pistons go, and so just to have that Mercedes on, that's a beautiful detail.
And we have to restore the wheels. They need
wheels,
some really good cleaning.
Let me tell you something. As you know, when we pull off the wheels, it's not just about a surface. We go really, really, really on the inside, really well.
Needs fresh tires in the rear too. So getting fresh tires, I'm gonna use, I believe this is the best. I've been using it on all Mercedes and all our customers' cars. Michelin's Pilot Sport AS3 Plus. That was the newest one on the market, all season.
Once again, whatever works, whatever you've run, whatever you've tested, you know that it gives a great result. You got to go with it.
We've been running it on all Mercedes, so I believe this is the one. And for the brakes, what are we getting? Brembo, rotors,
Brembo.
pads?
Listen, if we're not going to do stock original, I personally like Brembo.
Okay, then we'll go Brembos. Here's the brakes covered. The suspension is good on the car, everything checked. So that's a good thing about this car. Now the interior, we're gonna have to use help from one of the guys to do the seats for us.
Definitely, we got to redo that whole base. Even, I have to say the reclining back support, that's pretty good. We can do a little dye in there and do a perfect match. Obviously, once he's comfortable in it, once he's enjoying the car, we can go further than that.
And then the sun visor, not forgetting that one. We'll find used one.
Well, remember what I'm going to tell you. Who's going to be sitting in the passenger seat? Let's be real. It's going to be his lady. She'll be driving the car, but on occasion, if he's driving and she pulls down that visor, I don't care how perfect you're going to get that car. That mirror is not in place.
It's very important for any lady in the car.
Game over.
So we'll do that one. And then we're going to attack the interior, basically. That's the finishing. We have to attack the interior, make it all like brand new.
Listen.
We have to do the best. Steam, cleaning, the leather, the headliners, the glass basically.
Well, with the leather treatment, it has a little bit of dryness to it, so we definitely got to moisten that up.
Conditioners.
We can use conditioners, of course. And
the exterior, we have to restore the headlights, restore the paint, not in bad shape. Actually, it doesn't have scratches, but it's a little bit. It's
tired.
It's faded as there's no shine in it.
It's so screaming. It's screaming to come and to light. It wants. It's like it's underneath saying, please, bring me back to life again.
So we have the machines. And
I
we
have
have
to tell
the experience.
you. I don't know if you noticed. You probably did. One of the things that really gets me is when that grill, the grill on all cars do justice. And this one had a little bit of a chip on it. We're gonna have to, at least the chrome looks good.
Either we do something about it, you want to feather it, or probably we get something aftermarket, something nice.
We could, that could definitely be an option, but it's not terrible. Otherwise, we could just redo the vents. We should be good.
And we'll add some floor mats with Mercedes emblem on it, originals,
always
and I believe to change the center cap for the wheels to newer version Mercedes caps, so that will give the car a little different look.
Because the wheels are in great shape, and those AMG wheels are signature, and we don't want to really kind of take it to a completely different level, as it just needs some TLC, and I think that'll be enough.
And then of course the finishing ceramic coating, and not forgetting that everything, all the fluids in the car, we're gonna use Rove basically. Nothing else other than Rove motor oil. The coolant, we have them. What else we have? The power steering. We're gonna flush the brake system with Rove brake fluid .4 plus, and whatever the car takes. So we'll go from there. So now it's all about ordering some parts, and we'll see where we get in the shop today.
Absolutely.
So hopefully no delays.
Hopefully no delays. Get that going, and we'll take action.
We'll go from there.
All right,
everybody. This is the plan for today. We're gonna get the parts, and we're gonna start working on the car from today. But it depends on what we're getting as far as parts. We might, if there's some delays on parts, there's no available parts as in few hours, we might start with the interior because that requires only labor, no parts needed. So we'll go from there. Again,
Yep.
thanks for watching. Stay tuned with us.
Stay tuned.